All right, everybody, welcome out to number 38. Thank you so much for joining us here at Mile High Sports with Denver Stiffs. Really excited to have a post-game podcast as the Denver Nuggets take down the Los Angeles Lakers. Final score 124-114. Thank you so much to number 38 for having us out, and thank you to the audience for joining us today. Really appreciate everybody for stopping by, and make sure to give all the love to Denver Stiffs and to Mile High Sports. I am Ryan Blackburn. I am a senior writer for Mile High Sports. I host the Pickaxe and Roll podcast there. I am joined on my left by Swipa, one of the most amazing voices in the Denver sphere. On my right, I am joined from the site manager of Denver Stiffs, Zach Mikosh.
Stiffs in the house.
Thank you so much for joining us today. What a night. What an impressive victory from the Denver Nuggets. Swipa, I'll start with you. What is your first main takeaway?
I mean, first thing, your energy ain't enough for me, bro. They absolutely, from minute 4, came back absolutely down to the game. They were down 8 points at half. Come back, you win by 10, 124-114. Now, here's the thing. Before the game, I even said, if the LA Lakers were ever going to beat the Denver Nuggets, this was going to be the game. This was their opportunity. Because you didn't have KCP in the game. Jamal Murray coming off an ankle injury. And look, if you're going to do it, this is LeBron's night. 40,000 points scored in his career. If you're going to get it done, it had to be tonight, and the LA Lakers don't get it done again. That's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. That's 8 straight losses that the Denver Nuggets have put on the LA Lakers' heads, and we do this in the LeBron James era. Nikola Jokic, with all the doubt, all the talking, all the chirping, everybody was saying for years he wasn't one of them dudes. He goes out versus the best defender in the NBA, 35, 10, and 7. Puts everybody to sleep. Jamal Murray off a bad ankle injury, double-double. Playmaking king, scoring king. Michael Porter Jr. 125 true shooting tonight. A 125 true shooting tonight for Michael Porter Jr. Just an incredible game, 10 for 10. So I'm telling y'all, everybody was talking. Now all of a sudden, the Denver Nuggets, 42-19.
They're good.
6 straight wins.
They're good.
So what we doing?
It's a lot of fun, man. They couldn't get it done
when they had injuries on the board. So shout out KCP. Hope everything going well for them. But, bruh, the Nuggets are special.
Zach, they're 6-0 coming out of the All-Star break now, doing everything they can to remind the national audience just how good they can be. Was this a nice little reminder game on the national stage once again?
It's always a reminder that at this point, the Denver Nuggets own the Los Angeles Lakers. 8 in a row. It has absolutely become a one-sided affair. Hey, shout out to Michael Porter Jr.
Wow.
Perfect from the field tonight. He has continued to step up outside of the All-Star break, has continued to be that third star that the Denver Nuggets have looked for. He has, he's had an up-and-down season, but he has been the guy for the past 4, 5, 6 games right now. Michael Porter Jr., 10 for 10 from the field. The Denver Nuggets, I don't know what. Listen, LeBron James knows at this point, there is no winning another championship as long as he's playing in the Western Conference, because he is not able to beat this team here in Denver. The Nuggets absolutely own the Lakers. They proved it again tonight. As Swipa said, shutting it down in the last 4 minutes. This is the best clutch team in the NBA. There is no doubt about it. They showed it again tonight. The Lakers absolutely had no answer for the Nuggets in the end of this game. They end up losing by 10 in a game that they led pretty much
all the way through.
Right, pretty much the whole time. And then the Nuggets got to business, got it done.
This is what the Nuggets do, man. That's how they do it. This is how they approach these games every single time. They're just trying to get to the fourth quarter, and then that's when Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray take over. But I got to stick on Michael Porter for a second. Huge. How incredible was a 10 for 10 night from Michael Porter? Some of the shots that he took, some of the shots that he made, those were crazy shots, and that is what great shooters do. It's been a little bit since he's had this level of shooting performance, but he is capable of it every single night, Swipa.
Well, look, MPJ in the last 5 games has played incredible games. incredible games. And what he continues to prove is that with Jamal Murray in the lineup, without Jamal Murray in the lineup, if you give him the green light, not only is he a viable scorer, but his playmaking's been better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
He's averaging basically 3 assists to come back from the All-Star break. Now, what people got to understand about Michael Porter Jr. is when you see Porter's assist numbers, they're like, oh, he doesn't pass the ball. He has to name Michael Don't Swing the Rock, Michael Porter Jr., right? But the thing is about MPJ does his job. But what he's so good at, he's able to find these little crevices in the defense. Because of his gravity, he's able to create space for other people on the court. So Porter, incredible game. He played good defense. LeBron tried to hut him multiple times.
He got the 40K on him.
He got 40K on him, but the thing is, Porter didn't let that stop him. And what I love about Porter's role on the Nuggets is that he continues to show up day in, day out, missed one game this year, plays more than anybody else, and the fact that he's able to come out versus the Lakers in LA, do this versus really good quality teams when everything is the brightest, it just shows you how special he is.
He is way more clutch than people give him credit for. In a situation where only Jokic was really going off, Jamal Murray taking a little bit of time, Porter kept them in the game by shooting as efficiently as he possibly could. And that's exactly what we need from it. Another double-double for him as well. Just an impressive game. But we got to talk about the big fella, right? We got to talk about 35, 10, and 7. The shot that he hit over Anthony Davis in the third quarter, that was a Joker takeover moment. That was one of those ones where you're going to remember it because it keeps happening to the same dude in the same building. I can't believe that all of these awesome shots keep coming against one of the greatest possible defenders in the world, but that's because Nikola Jokic raises his level too, Zach.
Yeah, it's hey, shout out to my buddy Gordon Gross as we watched that show go, and we said Anthony Davis has to have nightmares every night about Nikola Jokic burying shots in front of him. It's become a trend. Listen, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. There's no doubt
question
about it right now. And when you put a guy like Anthony Davis is incredible. Like Anthony Davis is also one of the best players in the NBA. But when you see the gap between Nikola Jokic and the rest of the NBA, when he takes on a guy like Anthony Davis, and Davis plays flat out great defense on him throughout the entire 23 and a half seconds of the shot clock, and Jokic just buries it no matter what. Like, the man is inevitable. This man has arrived as one of the best players the NBA has ever seen.
Ever. And
it doesn't matter who you're going to put against him. You just got to hope that he misses, because if he's on, the game is over. And I'm telling you right now, like, the Denver Nuggets are on the start of a dynasty because they have this guy who flat out is just better than every single player in the NBA right now. And that is going to guide them to multiple championships.
We love seeing it from the big fella. He becomes so great at all times. You just never know what you're going to get on any given night, basically, from the Joker, because he's always pulling a magic trick out of the hat. That's what he does, and it's what the greatest players do. It's that they're going to deliver. You just sometimes don't know how. It could be with the passing, with the scoring, with the rebounding, with the occasional defense. Joker will find a way, as this Nuggets team always seems to do.
Look, Jokic came out in that third quarter. They're down 8 points. 13 straight points for Nikola Jokic.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
13 straight. And what I love about Joker's game is his sense of the moment is better than anybody's in the league. One of the things that makes great players great is timing. Can you understand when the moment calls for it? I got to score, I got to pass, and not just that. Their defense adjusted in the second half because they played abysmal defense in the first half.
It was bad.
And they shut off the water for the most part, especially for Anthony Davis, who ends up with 17 points on 13 shots. And it's not accidental. Joker doesn't give him space. And you make him a jump shooter, and he can't rely on that consistently. And what I love is that, again, third quarter comes around, and in the first quarter especially, it's not like they were cooking. Nobody was scoring outside of Nikola Jokic, but his ability to understand the moment, better than anybody.
Curtains, man. Well, everybody here at number 38, thank you so much for joining in with us. If you have a question that you want to deliver to the post-game pod, come up to the side here and talk to my guy, Anilo Piro, on the right side. He'll have a mic ready and able. And we're excited to be able to answer any questions that you have about these Denver Nuggets and whether they can win another championship. What do we want to talk about next, folks? Why don't we talk about just the Nuggets dominating the LA Lakers, dominating the constant team that has always been their bane of their existence. I saw a tweet earlier today. The Nuggets are doing to the Lakers now what the 80s Lakers did to the Nuggets then.
Not even the 80s Lakers, the 2000s Lakers, right? Like the Lakers have been, this is why Nuggets fans will always be passionate about being the Lakers. They have been a thorn in our side, not for a game, not for a season, not for a playoffs, for literally decades, okay? Whether we're talking about the 80s when we lost to them in the Western Conference Finals, Alex English gets his hand broken. Whether we're talking about in the 2000s, right? We can't inbound the ball with Anthony Carter. We can't get over the hump against the Lakers. Whether we get swept in 2008, shout out Andy Feinstein, firegeorgecarl.com. Started from there. Denver Sis started from there. But this has always been the team we can't get over. And it's such an interesting thing to see now because not only did we beat them in the playoffs, not only did we overcome in the playoffs, now we flat out own that franchise.
Yeah.
Like they cannot beat us. The Nuggets versus the Lakers is a given. Take the Nuggets, take the points every single time because the flat out answer to anybody's question about Nuggets versus Lakers is going to be Nuggets every single time. It is impressive to see, and it is exciting because it's a changing of the guard, right? The Nuggets are now the dominant team in the West, not the Los Angeles Lakers.
But the funny thing is that all of these games are close, right? All of these games are coming down to the wire where that fourth quarter time comes around and it's still contested that entire time. But
that's the best clutch team in the NBA, and the Lakers are finding it out.
They find it out every single time. The same game script happening at all times. It is incredible to watch. Swipa, what's your big takeaway on the Nuggets-Lakers rivalry here?
Well, I think one of the things that the Nuggets are now, I think they're 21-10 on the year in the clutch. They got the number one clutch net rating. All of a sudden, again, remember after that Sacramento game when they had Reggie Jackson and Justin Holiday closing, were able to close the job out. But this Laker game, it just shows you that there are just levels of execution they can get to. I think that supersedes anybody in the league. And for you to be able to get an offense where you got Jamal Murray, you got Nikola Jokic, you're running a two-man game, and then you have a darker spot player in Aaron Gordon, and then you're being flanked by KCP and Michael Porter Jr., it just creates the stuff of nightmare. And you saw today, put Justin Holiday in that spot.
Right.
Give him an opportunity. He can hit those shots. And the thing is, the defense is, because they're so overwhelmed with the middle of the paint with the three players and Murray, Jokic, and Gordon, they have no choice but to cheat over, and you got wide open three-pointers. And at that point, you're just playing the odds. Am I going to give it to KCP or am I going to give it to Michael Porter Jr.? And you're cooked.
Either way, that's 40% plus.
Right.
Yep.
It's incredible to watch, man. These are the moments that as Nuggets fans you have to cherish because with the way that Joker has been, with the way that the Lakers have been, like the Lakers will have their comeback at some point. That's going to happen, but it's not going to be now. It's not going to be now.
Why
it's not going to be for a while.
Right.
Y'all hear Ryan Blackburn saying the Lakers have to come back? I'm sorry.
Don't have to.
It's Adam Silver in the house. The Lakers have to be good again, everybody.
David Stern is turning over in his grave, pleading for the Lakers to come back.
The Lakers have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Every single year, we go into the offseason saying they won the offseason. Yeah. Every single year, we say Anthony Davis and LeBron James, best duo in the league. So sure, they already got everything they need, or so I was told.
Yeah.
The issue is that if you cannot get to a fourth-quarter setting in the NBA and get the job done on a nightly basis, you're cooked. And this is the thing that separates the Nuggets. I'm going to go on a run here because the Boston Celtics, great team. LA Clippers, great team. Timberwolves, great team. Thunder, great team.
Thunderwolves?
The Thunderwolves. The issue is that when you get into a situation where you have five players that are in perfect harmony with each other, and the coaching is in level A, you're just going to have such a hard time beating them 4 out of 7 times. And I think the Lakers matchup, really, it's just a microcosm of the greater issue the NBA has to deal with. Is that when you're going to get into a scenario, the best player in the world, who's arguably the best passer and playmaker and scorer in the NBA, is in the middle of the court. So what are you going to do? Do you load up? Do you help? and you're cooked. Either way.
I give a lot of credit to Jamal Murray, by the way, who
He gutted it out tonight.
we didn't even know if he was going to play.
Yep.
And early on in this game, there were plenty of defensive possessions where you're like, I don't know how he's really holding up. I don't know how he's really playing. And he started the game pretty cold, too, from the offensive end. But that guy is a gamer. That guy understands the moment. And the moment when the Lakers play him and when they're on national TV, it just never ceases to amaze me how he keeps stepping up. This team keeps stepping up in those moments, and it's always an exciting time. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions here at number 38? Really appreciate all y'all for hanging out. Really appreciate all y'all for joining in. Swipa, Zach, let's go now to the bench. Let's go to a couple of instances here with this bench units. Peyton Watson, somebody I want to talk about. Justin Holiday, though, played 31 minutes off the bench and hit some clutch threes.
Hey, play Justin Holiday over Christian Brown. Like, no offense to Christian Brown, but like Justin Holiday is reliable. He is the guy night in, night out. Like, he is going, you know what you're going to get out of him. And you know, basically what that comes down to is this is a guy who's not going to make mistakes. This is a guy who's going to be consistent and give me what I need out of a role player every night. And that's not to say that Christian Brown isn't, but as Christian Brown has continued to kind of try and model himself after the different roles that he gets into, like he's comfortable coming off the bench. He's comfortable being that seventh man in the rotation. When you thrust him into the starting lineup, we've seen time and again, it doesn't work. Justin Holiday, a veteran, he showed again tonight, like he can handle that limelight. He can handle being the guy who's counted on to knock down a corner three when he's open, and it's not too big for him. Like, give Justin Holiday more minutes. As long, at least, if we're going to have a player out, if we're going to have a wing who's not going to play, Justin Holiday is the guy who should be getting those minutes. And that's not a knock on Christian Brown, but we saw it against tonight. Like, Justin Holiday is prepared to step into the moment at any time. And that's something that you gain as a veteran with experience, which Christian Brown just simply doesn't have yet.
He doesn't have it yet. Peyton Watson's still trying to figure some things out, though I do want to give Peyton Watson the benefit of the doubt here. Those 3 blocks that he had, including some in the fourth quarter, that's the kind of defensive burst that you add into the mix when you need somebody like a Peyton Watson, a young guy to give you a little bit of energy in a spot where it's kind of tough to manufacture energy against a Lakers team where they are running, they're consistently scoring, and Denver had to figure out something. It was an impressive performance from him. Swipa, what are your takeaways from the bench tonight? We saw some Murray time with them. We saw some Porter time with them. What'd you see?
Well, the biggest thing is I think Michael Malone showed a level of dexterity that we have seen from him in the playoff, but we don't often see in the regular season. And it starts with Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
It wasn't Christian Brown, that's one thing. But in the second half, they didn't go to Reggie Jackson as often as they normally would have. Because, again, just to be fair, Reggie's a great player. He's an NBA player. He's a Colorado kid. We love him.
Tough stretch.
But he hasn't been playing well.
Yep.
And his defense has been suspect, to say the least. And, again, the Nuggets, everything to do is that backline rotation. Because when they're playing at the level, you have to get to a spot if you're on a wing. Reggie, multiple times in that first half, just couldn't get there. And he wasn't also coming up to the man when the short roll was coming there to stop him in the first place. So Malone then goes with Justin Holiday to start the fourth and then ends the game with him. Doesn't come out of the game. So you don't get any Reggie Jackson. You don't get any Christian Brown, at least for Justin Holiday, because, he was in there for MPJ.
Sure.
But for me, I think that's the biggest thing is Malone knows. Jokic, Murray, they don't really need another point guard. Jokic, at least, for sure doesn't need another point guard.
Right.
And so I think for you to be able to go with a defender, not the best, but better, a shooter, not the best, but better, in Justin Holiday, that probably won you the game because those 3-point swings that you get from Justin Holiday made the world of a difference. And again, from Peyton Watson's standpoint, he's going to be a DPOY level player one day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
He is such an instinctual defender. That block on LeBron when he got to the rim, incredible. But the best one was the one of D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I agree.
D'Angelo thought he had something free and clear, and all of a sudden, here comes Peyton Watson. Sends it home, and it gets into a transition. It's just those momentum creating plays. So right now, if I had to put a playoff rotation together, Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Reggie, but if Reggie's not getting it done, put Justin Holiday in there and call it a day.
I think Justin's proven it, man. Over the course of these past few games, he is going to be a steady option. He was one of the key factors for Denver in shutting down that Reeves-LeBron pick and roll, where LeBron was going downhill. He was going to the rim. He played great, if I'm being honest. He had a really, really impressive game. But Denver needed to find ways to solve problems, and that's what Justin Holiday can help you do. They don't call him the fireman for nothing, people. It's a crazy nickname that I don't think is going to stick, but we'll see what happens there. But let's transition over to the rest of the Western Conference and just talking about, man, this Nuggets team, they're great. They might be the best team. They probably are the best team in the Western Conference. They're not at the top of the standings yet, but they are darn close.
They are darn close, like you said, Ryan. And listen, if we're going by record, right, they're not the best team because they're technically a half game behind the Minnesota Timberwolves. But who actually is sitting here thinking at the end of the day, like, if I got to have a 7-game series between Minnesota or Oklahoma City and the Denver Nuggets, like, who's picking the Timberwolves or the Thunder? Probably nobody, right? Like, the Nuggets have proven time and again that this is not a fluke. Yeah. This is not just a one-off with a player who got hot in the playoffs like Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. This is a team who is built, who is purposely built over honestly almost a course of a decade now, and they are ready to take on anybody in the NBA. I personally think they will be the number 1 seed when we get to the playoffs this season. I am 100% not afraid of any series against the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Minnesota Timberwolves. We have seen Nikola Jokic versus Rudy Gobert in the playoffs before. We know how that works out. I am not ready to anoint the Thunder, a team who is going to be in the playoffs for the first time with this core. I'm not ready to anoint them as a team who's a threat in the playoffs. Honestly, it's the Nuggets, maybe the Los Angeles Clippers, and that is it in the West.
It's interesting to see it. I'm curious to get your thoughts, Swipa. The Western Conference, how it has evolved. It seems like it's giving Denver a really great chance to repeat.
It seems.
I'm looking at it now.
I personally don't understand this language. I think what's for me is so frustrating is we feel like we have to create a storyline. Like, we're not in drama. This isn't a soap opera. This isn't Young and the Restless. Like, what is this? This is not Ozark. You don't have to have a plot with a peak point and then everybody falls apart. This is the NBA. The question is, can you get into a 7-game series and beat Nikola Jokic?
The answer is no.
This is the thing. You could have a great defense, Minnesota Timberwolves. You like your shot making, the half-court offense. The Thunder, they're great. They actually have one of the best clutch defenses and offenses in the league. But the problem is you're not going to take down Jokic and Murray in a playoff series, and then the Clippers get another great team. Here's the issue is, can you not get blown out? And if you don't get blown out, can you beat them, again, 4 out of 7 times when they have proven through playoff iterations since 2018-19, in regular season, multiple 51-plus seasons, where you can take them down in 7 games? No. So I don't think that it seems that they're the number 1 seed with the best option. It's just, this is what happens when you have the best player in the world. Does it feel like the Michael Jordan Bulls have a chance to repeat? Did it feel like the Heat with LeBron James had a chance to repeat? Yeah, I think so.
I think it's fair. And there's been a lot of talk about the Boston Celtics over in the Eastern Conference. There's been a lot of talk about, oh man, what can the Clippers do? What can the T-Wolves do? What can the Thunder do? But the finals still run through Denver, man. They still run through Denver. This is what people understand in the Mile High City. And they're so excited to be in part of this moment. They're so excited to share this with the city. It is one of the most tremendous feelings to have this level of confidence as a basketball town. It's crazy, right?
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
100%. It is super fun, and it is exciting, as all of us know. Like, we've been on the Nuggets train since basically, whenever we started becoming fans, and we have all lived through Nug life. We have all lived through multiple disappointments not only to see it happen with this team, but to happen with this superstar and with this player who exemplifies in so many ways everything that is about Denver and everything that is about the way that Nuggets fandom has come up. We are not a flash fans. We are not a team that has been constantly in the limelight, but we've got a guy who comes in every day, just shows up for work, just only really he doesn't care about the flash, doesn't care about growing his brand or anything like that. Just cares about winning games and is flat out come out every single night and said, I'm better than you, and I will beat you every single night. To have that in Denver, to have a player who embraces Denver the way that Nikola Jokic does, we are incredibly lucky. This is special. This does not happen often in the NBA, and for it to happen in Denver, it is just an amazing time to be a Nuggets fan.
The most beloved player in Nuggets franchise history. And
absolutely.
Maybe the most beloved Denver sports figure. We're kind of broaching that topic here relatively soon. Nikola Jokic has literally redefined the narrative about him, about the Nuggets, about the NBA, about everything that is involved with Denver basketball. And he is just a tremendous player to watch. Should be going for his third straight MVP or his third MVP swipe, but not the third straight. It would be the fourth straight if shenanigans did not happen.
Yeah, right now Jokic is leading among all betting sites. If you look at NBA.com, he's number one.
Yeah.
You look at the Basketball Reference MVP award tracker, he's number one.
Yeah.
Like a 48% probability. But I told you this multiple times, but Ryan, you have a hard time believing me right away. About Peyton Watson, about the Nuggets winning a championship sometime.
I'm a skeptic.
You wane sometime, but it's all good. Here's the thing. I told you the Nuggets aren't playing crap teams.
Yep.
They're playing 6 of 9 games, starting with the Heat on national television. 4 straight TNT and ABC games.
Yep.
And you see him close the door versus Bam Adebayo. You see him close the door versus Anthony Davis. And now, here we go. You got one of the 10 best teams in the NBA coming into Denver next weekend in the Boston Celtics. One of the best teams of all time is what I'm hearing.
I've been told that too.
That's what I'm hearing. So if you're asking me, will he win the MVP again? The question is, if you play these level of high quality games and you have to win and put up great effort to win those games, well, who's better at putting up great effort and doing it better than anybody else?
It's funny. There is no argument about the best player right now. The only places that will argue about it are the fans in Milwaukee, or maybe the fans in. I don't even know about that. Like,
there's some LeBron fans that will still argue.
They might be. I think they're watching this.
Tonight,
they're watching this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It just keeps happening the same way. Nikola Jokic is too good for LeBron.
He's too good for LeBron. He's too good for everybody. And, listen, we talk about, will they be able to beat the Boston Celtics in the finals? I'm here to tell you I have watched the Jokic versus Kristaps Porzingis debate many times over, and it is very clear who's going to win that matchup. Right? Exactly.
That was a fun debate in 2016.
It was, exactly. And this is still what the Celtics are bringing to the table in terms of what are they going to match up against the Nuggets. We're going to put Kristaps Porzingis on Nikola Jokic, and you're going to win 4 games out of 7 with that matchup. It's not going to happen, and that's the problem. There is no big. I won't say that. There was one big in the entire NBA who you would feel like, man, this is going to be interesting matchup, and that was Joel Embiid. He is out. There's nobody. There's nobody in the West. There's nobody in the East. Chet Holmgren, great young player, not going to be able to stop Nikola Jokic. Not yet, at least. Right? No way. Kristaps Porzingis, no way. Brook Lopez, great defensive center on the back end of his career. Do you actually think he's going to be able to contain Nikola Jokic in a 7-game series? No, right? So that is what the question comes down to with the Nuggets and the playoffs every single year is who can win a matchup against Nikola Jokic 4 games out of 7. That player does not exist in the NBA right now.
And the credit to Jamal Murray as well for being able to take some of the pressure off of Joker in some of those pick and rolls and TV shows.
That's why Michael Porter, in the league.
Exactly. No, and this is why Denver has this chance. This is why they should be favorites to repeat. They are not currently favorites, but they should be favorites. And I think everybody in Denver has plenty of excitement about where this thing is going. We should go. We're going to wrap up here. Final couple of thoughts here from you, Swipa.
Look, I said that this is narrative week. There's a lot of games versus really high-quality opponents. And right around the corner, the Phoenix Suns are coming in. Kevin Durant playing another great defensive game. And then on top of that, right after that, you got the Boston Celtics. So, look, this is just the start. There's more to come because this is the tune-up for the NBA playoff. And the Denver Nuggets this week can put aside any notion that somebody else is going to be coming for their title. And we'll see what happens at the end of this week.
Zach, your final thoughts.
Feed Michael Porter Jr. the ball.
Man, he's been killing it.
Feed him to him.
His last two games.
I feel like this is Michael Porter Jr.'s ascension. He is the third star on this team. Feed him the ball. Get him the shots he needs, and this team will blow everybody out of the water.
Everybody knows my agenda is always centered around Jamal Murray. He's one of the most underappreciated players in the NBA. This is the time where it's all said and done. Nobody can talk about him anymore, especially if Denver wins a championship once again with him as the second best player. Every Batman needs a Robin, every single one. And Jamal is just so much more than that even. He's been tremendous, and you just got to love these Nuggets. You got to love the way that they're built. Credit to Michael Malone, credit to Calvin Booth, credit to this Nuggets organization for building a winner here in the Mile High City.
Hey, credit to number 38, right?
Yeah.
Like, this has been an awesome night here for Stiffs Night Out. This venue is incredible. There is so many great spots to sit and watch the game. I started watching the game here in the bar, went out to the patio, finished up the game there. Incredible venue. I want to give a shout out to number 38. Awesome place to have Stiffs Night Out.
Food has been tremendous.
Excellent.
Drinks have been tremendous. Thank you so much to number 38 for having us. It has been a blast, Swipa.
Yeah, it's been great. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate it. Can't wait to be back again.
Everybody, that's going to do it for this episode with Mile High Sports with Denver Stiffs. Everybody, thank you so much for having us here. Thank you for listening. And we really, really appreciate all the love and support on the show. We are out. Thank you.